Shalana Harris here with Every Cowboy Has a Story and Cowgirl. We're with Kevin Brill and Liza Jane, Liza Brill. And Kevin has been part of our association, but he's also been a very intricate part of being our national director. Every time I've been here with Kevin all week, and it's towards the end, and we're just now getting time to do an interview because every time I see him, he's busy, he's working, he's in meetings, he's working down in the arena. So, Kevin, I just want to take time to say thank you. I want to say thank you for trying to save our association money by staying in a sketchy motel. Please don't ever do that again. Just go ahead and pay the price. There's a lot of things that you do for our association that I don't think people realize, and the sacrifices that you make. But I want to let you know that people do see that. People see that you're out here with nationals with your daughter who qualified. Eliza, what did you qualify in?
Poles, barrels, and goats.
Poles, barrels, and goats. And you're still having to take your time away from Liza to go do a job out here for our team. Thank you.
No,
Thank you. It's a lot. So when you think about the high school rodeo, how did you get here?
it was. I never thought we would be here with it. You know, when I was coming along, we had horses and we rode horses and we raised quarter horses for a while, and then I had gotten out of it and put all of it in my past. I always kept up with rodeo. I loved more rough stock than anything, and I was beyond all of it. I was playing golf and I was having a good time.
Way.
Yeah, and I had moved on, and Rihanna came through, and she was in 8th grade, and came to me one day, Dad, I'd like to get a horse. I was like, oh my goodness.
That's what I heard about that.
Yeah, and I was like, oh man. Well, we had the barn, we still had all the facilities, we had everything. So I was like, okay. So once we got one, well then, I want a barrel race. So then we started practicing and this and that on, and then it was, you know, we had heard about high school rodeo and all that. So we geared up and got her going with that, and she started as a 9th grader, and she made it all the way through and graduated out. And then Eliza was coming along, and she decided to pick up after Rihanna left. So she started in 8th grade, 7th grade,
6th grade.
6th grade.
I did a year in Mavericks.
Yeah, and she did a little bit in Mavericks,
yeah.
and then but then she did a full year, 2 years in junior high. She was 7th and 8th.
Yeah, that's probably right.
2 years in
Probably
junior
right.
high and 7th and 8th. And this is her first year in high school, so she's still got a few more years to go.
It'll go by quick.
Yeah.
So quick. Did you take your sister's horse?
I did. I'm not ashamed. She wanted it, she should have ridden it.
And you're riding it very well.
Yeah.
So, absolutely. How did you know that Rihanna wanted to do this? How did you know she, besides her saying, Dad, I want to do this?
Well, she was always very competitive, and in what she was doing. And when she started riding and she went into barrel race, it was some folks that live close to us that did a lot of. We're in the barrel racing community and so forth. So, you know, we took baby steps with it because we all know how kids are as far as they decide they want to do this today, and then 6 months from now they don't want to do it anymore. Yeah. So, you know, I wasn't going to go over the top and spend all this money and get all this stuff on, and then 6 months later, well, Dad, I don't want to do this anymore. So, you know, we started out borrowing trailers. You know, we bought a horse, but we borrowed trailers, and we'd do different things on, and then she was always wanting to practice and always wanting to do this and that, and she was very driven by it. And so we took the steps and then got trailers, and the next thing then we put an arena in at their place and allowing her to practice and all that, and then you know, Eliza has benefited from all of that. But yeah, with her commitment to it, I saw it was something, and it's such a great foundation for the kids, and it's you know, where a better place you could put your kids than in junior high and high school rodeo.
How many people are here? Do you know how many contestants we had?
I think it's 1,800 contestants.
So how many people do you think we have on grounds? And I'm counting our workers or everybody.
I mean, if you had just say 4 people per contestant, I mean, you're
Gosh.
talking close to 8,000 there.
Well, the
and then-
Stearns brought how many?
Oh yeah, they brought a ball team. But yeah, I mean, with workers and staff and on, I mean, it's easily 10,000 people here at all times.
You know, we go to Walmart and I make my girls stand right beside me. We come here and they're like, "Can I go so and so?" And I'm like, "Yes."
Yeah.
Yesterday there were 3 different parents that came, and they come up to me and they had ice cream. I'm like, "Where'd you get ice cream?" They come up to me and they had a lemonade twist drink or something. Everybody is always looking out for everybody else's kids. When you look at all the kids that are here, all the contestants, you're back in the back a lot. You see a lot that goes on, you know, when they win and lose. What is one thing that you think all these kids have in common?
Drive.
Drive. Absolutely.
And I've been working the rough stock pen all week, and so you know, I'm not seeing the go tires and the pole benders because they're out on the other end staging and getting ready. But I'm seeing the bareback riders, the saddle bronc, the bull riders, and they're driven. And I mean, that's a dangerous event what they're doing too, but they're all driven.
They're all driven.
And I see that with all the other kids. I mean,
Oh, gosh.
they got to drive. You know?
When you get, I get up and I wait for the sun to come up, and there's kids already up practicing, taking care of their horses, walking them. It just amazes me that, for one, these kids are getting up before me, but they're getting up and working. So tell me what the first year with Team Virginia was like.
That was a long time ago. I have to think on that. I mean, I remember for us, it was, and Eliza will remember, her memory might not be as good as mine because she was so little, but it was almost like mass chaos every time we went because we never brought everything we needed. We always left something at home. And then when we brought what we thought we needed, we got there and found out it was something that we needed that we didn't even have. So we spent a lot of time at Track Supply and finding our way around to find what we needed. And I remember, you know, everyone was so helpful. You know, it was all you had to do is ask a question.
Oh,
and
Lord, yeah.
you know, if you didn't know or was unsure, you could go to anyone and just
Lord,
say,
yeah.
"Hey, could you help me with this? I'm just curious, this and that." And everybody would always help. I mean, and that stands out to me a lot.
Absolutely. So you get to the end of your first year, all the chaos, all the going to plug something up and realizing you don't have the plug. You get through everything. You've watched Rihanna. What changes did you see in her as she went throughout her year?
Oh, confidence.
Yeah.
Confidence.
Yes.
It's, you know, we struggled that first year because we didn't have the horses that we needed. We
Yeah.
thought we did, but we didn't. And
Yeah.
we were trying different combinations and on, and none of that was working. And she was getting frustrated. And we were fortunate enough, I ran into a guy that had a really nice horse. He was a little bit older, he was in Indiana. And I got talking to him and ended up going out, and that horse was a lifesaver for us because she gave Rihanna instant confidence. I mean, she took care of her, and she ended up taking Rihanna to national finals 3 times in poles and 3 times in goats.
That's pretty
And
good.
then she qualified Eliza in poles and goats in junior high and qualified a year this trip. But
Amazing.
she's got some age on her. She's an old girl. She's 24. So we figured we'd save her the burden of, because she's cranky anyway. So we figured we'd save her the burden of
Yeah.
making this trip. And we brought her barrel horse, and he's trying to turn him into a pole horse. And we're getting there. It went better this week than I thought it was going to, but I think she knows. Oh, she's got some practice with him to do, but he's going to get there. I was pleased with the way he did this week.
Awesome. When you finished that first year, what made you decide, yes, we're going to come back another year?
Well, it's funny. Um, we had finished that first year, and we had gotten that other horse, and she was doing well and coming down the stretch, and it was funny. I've told other people we were only 2 or 3 weeks out from state finals that year, and her secretary sent out the email of if anyone looking to help and this and that, let them know. And so I emailed her, and I just told her, I said, we've had a great time this year. We loved it. We're definitely coming back next year. And, Eliza's getting excited. She wants to do it. And, we just had such a great time. I said, if there's anything I can do to help, just let me know. I said, because I'm more than willing. I'll help in any way that I can. I'd like to help out and do whatever. So she emailed me back, thanks, great. We're so happy. And, I'm going to put you down. And then, look forward to seeing you at state finals. And I said, okay. So we get to state finals and in the general membership meeting, and it's the first one we've been in, so I'm trying to figure my way through that. And then when we go to do the general election and all, and they pass the ballots out, and I look, and there's 2 open spots for the board, and there's only 2 people running for it. One of them was me, and I didn't know it. And I was like, oh my goodness. I wasn't expecting this, but so naturally I ended up on, and I've been on the board the last 6 years, and it's been, I've been happy and trying to just continue on what all the others did and try and keep it going for everybody else that's coming in the future.
Well, we appreciate it. I know you know my heart about Team Virginia.
Oh.
I absolutely love it. I sit and I look at this view that we have. My family would never experience this without rodeo. We'd never experience this without Team Virginia. And when you come out with your team on a trip like this, there's 2 families that are kind of having transmission issues.
Yeah.
And I'm like, thank goodness we have the people we have. And not just Virginia, but all the kids, all the parents, all the states. But there's a bond here. There's something about having this experience with your kids and watching the kids go in and knowing that they are competing out here with the top. And it's just, I'm in awe every time. Like, I was on the backside the other day, and I actually looked at the stands from a distance, and I thought, wow, what an incredible opportunity.
It's I remember when Brianna qualified the first time, and we were actually in Rock Springs, I think 5 years ago, and it was the first one I had been at, and I was blown away. I was like, this is just incredible.
It's huge.
And with going through so many with her, and then with Eliza, and then the ones I've been working, I was thinking about it on the way out here. This is my 10th one I've been to, and
wow.
Every one of them are as equally as impressive and great as the others.
I do women's retreats, and it's just for a weekend, and it takes me several months or, a lot of time to put into it. What's it like being part of trying to get all of this together?
Well, a lot of people don't realize we will, when it ends tonight, everyone pretty much leaves. We have a board meeting tomorrow, and all the directors will get together, and they'll recap how this has gone, and they'll bring up things that they see that we need to change for next year, and the 25 national finals start tomorrow as far as preparation, and we'll spend the morning doing all that, and then they'll continue working at it, and the executive board, they'll work quite a bit, and the office works quite a bit on it, and then we all get back together in January at the midwinter meeting, and we spend a week to wrap a lot of it up, and generally by the end of January we've got it sewed up, and then it's just where the office and the executive board finishes up that stretch. But yeah, it's a lot of preparation that goes into it.
A lot.
Yeah.
So, Liza, when did you realize, man, I want to try my hand at this rodeo?
I don't know. when Rhiannon got her horse, I was kind of left out, and I wanted to do it too because I always want to do everything Rhiannon did. So, I guess I rode her horse at some point, but I wanted to do it too, and she'd never let me. So I had to wait till she was done using her horses for me to finally be able to do it. And I was scared of going fast, so my main speeds were walk and trot, and it was like that for years. But it was enough for me.
So, Diane and Mike Nelson are a very special part of this rodeo family. And Diane Nelson used to watch you. And she said, that girl, she has so much grit, she has so much determination. She said, I like her class. I like how she handles things. Like, she'd watch Eliza run and she'd be fired up. She'd be rocking in their old chairs and she would say, that girl, God, I love that girl. And she'd say, at first she's like, what's that kid's name? And I'd tell her, but then she knew. She'd be like, Liza's getting ready to run. And I'd be like, yes, ma'am. Well, Diane Nelson passed away, and you received her very first Diane Nelson Memorial Award buckle. You didn't just receive it, you earned that. You have impressed me. From the time I watched you, you wasn't worried about winning the buckle. You was just worried about being there, getting good, clean runs. And now look at you out here at Nationals. I just want to tell you that I'm very proud of
Thank you.
And I'm excited, and I pray that I get to be here one day when you are a world champion or in the top 20. So keep pushing and keep striving. Next year, for sure. What has this rodeo life taught you? What's the biggest lesson you've learned?
Overall, probably just confidence in general, because I was really scared a lot of the times, but I didn't have any choice but to get on the horse and ride. And it's that mindset's hung with a lot of things, because I don't really have any choice. I have to do this to get like what I want out of it, and it's helped like a lot of things like school and like making new friends. You got to get through the bad parts to have all the fun.
Awesome. What is your goal? Deep down inside, tell me, what is your goal?
I think I just want to enjoy it while I'm out there. I'm not really worried about winning more. Like, it's kind of a reward itself, just being in the arena and riding, and then getting out and not messing anything up.
This is the kind of attitude and spirit that Diane absolutely loved about you. All right. When you think back over your rodeo career, who stands out to you of who has had your back?
Without a doubt. Because, I started out mutton busting.
Of course, rough stock. Why,
Yeah.
How could I have not known that?
I'd be so scared to get on that stupid little sheet. I wasn't much taller than this. He just threw me on the back of it, and I had to go. It's been like that throughout all of it. When Rhiannon would try to teach me how to ride and I didn't want to listen to her, he'd come down and stand up for me and then tell me how I needed to do something, and I'd go from there, and I'd always make sure that he comes out and watches my runs beforehand.
Yes.
And it means a lot, because he could just be, whatever else, but he makes the effort to come out and watch me do all of it.
If there was one thing that you could say to him, and this would be the last thing that you ever said, what would you want it to be?
Thanks.
So you've watched both your girls come through. And they're good kids. Let's just start out by saying they're really, really good kids. What do you want to tell them?
I'm proud.
I'm just going to go ahead and say it. You take a lot of impact trying to solve all the problems in Team Virginia on national level. You keep our kids straight. I can't even tell you how many times you've texted, make sure the kids do this, make sure the kids do this. You take time away from your family to invest for all our kids. But it is worth it.
Oh,
It is worth it.
It's worth it, definitely. It's, their whole association is full of great kids and great families.
Absolutely. And this is why we do it. Looking back over your time, your whole lifetime, who stands out to you? How you've always been around horses. Who impacted your life?
And it's been several. It would be really hard to just pick one. You know, when I go back to, you know, when I was, of course, when I was in school so long ago, we didn't have high school rodeo, at least not in Virginia. And I played football and basketball and a lot of sports. And you know, I remember coaches from those days, and it was always people above me, you know, older and that would help with different things, and you know, certainly my parents, obviously,
Yeah.
but there's been a lot of people that's helped me along the way, and it's been so many through the years that it's been a lot.
Is there any specific rodeo that just stands out to you, like you're like, except for the one where your truck motor blew up?
Yeah,
Let's not talk about that one. We're not going to
talk
talk about that one. A great time, a time that somebody just stepped up and helped you when you were least expecting it. Just the most memorable rodeo.
Man, it's been a lot. I mean, one that stands out that I guess it would have been Rihanna's 10th grade year, because she had the full season with her better horse, and she started really figuring things out, and it was coming down the stretch, and she actually had a realistic shot in making national finals, and but she had to have a good state finals, and she went in and I just lit it up, and it was, I mean, she did fantastic. I forget now, but you know, she was she finished really high in the pole average and in the go time and all that, and it got her. That one stands out a lot. You know, I think just past year, one with Eliza that stood there, we were at field days, and you know, that's a great rodeo, and
It is.
and I always joke with her because she and her barrel horse, they're either dialed in or they're not, and there's no such thing as her knocking one barrel. If she knocks, she's gonna knock at least two.
I'm taking all of them
Yeah,
with me.
she's gonna take them with her. And they had struggled a little bit at the start of the season in barrels,
Just kept
but then we went to field days, and that was multi-state with West Virginia, and
Yes.
she won the second go-round. And I was like, oh my goodness.
I remember.
And that one stands out to me a lot. That was
Yeah.
her winning the go-round. That was pretty cool.
I think that one I went up to her and I was crying. I was like, oh my gosh.
I was holding on for dear life. I didn't even know what was going on until after.
That's the thing, as another parent, she's not even my kid. And I'm just like, I love that she is knowing so good. And that's with all the kids. And I'll confess, which I'm sure all the kids know this, but I go up to them and I ask them, or I tell them, when you get to that arena, you are the best barrel racer here. And I tell each and every one of them that. And always be better than your best.
Oh, yeah. And the one thing with her, the biggest tip I've got for her with barrel racing, and maybe some other parents can try it, is because I basically blackmail her or kind of bribe her, because she runs off her belly like an old bear does. And
That's mean.
when we are getting ready, because you know barrels usually towards the end,
Yeah.
and I tell her, look, if you knock barrels, we're going down to the truck stop, we're getting hot dogs tonight. So if you want something good to eat, you better make a good run.
I'll remember that.
When and field day stands out, because we were there one year that I think it was in the first go, and she was getting ready to run, and you know I was up at the alley helping, and she hollered for me, and I'm thinking something's wrong, and you know I go up and said, what's wrong? You okay? Yeah, I was wondering where we gonna go eat when this is over. And I said, you just worry about your barrel run and don't worry about your belly. So, yeah,
So you ate
she's
good.
Yeah, I didn't get no hot dog.
What advice do you have to a parent that's kind of on they're like, man, I'd like to maybe let my kid rodeo, but I don't know. It's expensive.
Oh, it's
We're not gonna lie, it's expensive. There's no, I don't care. I don't care what if you borrow everything, it's still expensive.
Yeah.
What advice do you have for those parents?
Well, I would tell them to certainly they can always permit and try it once and see, or find some of the smaller jackpot deals, whether it's roping or barrel racing, or speed events, or goat tying or whatever, and then reach out to some families that are already in the association and talk to them,
Yeah.
and like I say, they can permit or just come watch a couple of them.
Yeah.
And get a feel for it, and then I think most that come they tend to stick with it.
Yeah. They're in it for the long haul. Elizabeth, she'll be going in to the 4th grade, and I'm just thinking, you'll probably have grandkids, and I'll still be here.
I don't know if I'm ready for that. I'd
Is
rather
this-
flank one of these bulls back here tonight than I would have to think about grandkids.
That's another thing. You were like, you just help wherever. Like you were right there, a right-hand man, and I'm pretty all over the place, but I'm not really working. But I've talked to several people, and when I say, what state are you from? That's the obvious question out here. And I say Virginia, and they're like, oh, Kevin Brill. And so many people, the New York director, Maryland, the ones we rodeo with, but there's some that we don't rodeo with, and they're like, he is a good man, and that makes me proud. So thank you. That when I introduce myself, and I do admit that I'm from Virginia, it's an honor that they say Kevin Brill, he is a good man.
Well, I appreciate it.
So I thank you for that. All right, Eliza. When you are out here and you're getting ready to go into the arena, do you take time to look around?
Definitely.
What does that feel like?
I'm just kind of shocked that I made it here in the first place. And there's all these people, all of them there's always someone better than you. And I can be my best out there, but there's always going to be someone better, but it doesn't matter because I just want to enjoy it while I'm out here because that's something I'm going to look back on.
Yes.
Like, a while. Like, wow, I did this.
Yes.
And I'm not really about winning. It's just fun.
I told, Matthew had just a crappy draw for a shoot and everything. And I told him, I said, there's 10,000 boys that would take your crappy shot just to have the experience to be able to come out here. But Eliza, I don't think you take any of this for granted
No, I'm really
at all.
appreciative.
What advice would you give to somebody who has not made it to nationals yet?
It's very possible that you could get it. You just have to have the right determination and not really get ahead of yourself. So if you put you're all into it and enough practice, and because it's not about talent, it's about skill. Putting effort into that, you probably could get here. Just gotta have the spirit to do it.
That is awesome. And I want to thank you, and I've never thought about this before, but you're up here working. I know that you've probably done a few things with Liza and stuff, but you're up here working, and Liza's here, and you're flanking bulls, and
All I have to do is leave her with food.
she's
I'll
good.
survive.
But,
She's good.
Thank you, Liza, for sharing your dad with our team. Thank you for being the one who's riding shotgun with him and, just making these memories with him and being an encouragement to him and being the reason why he keeps coming back because we need him, and he's doing a great job.
Thank
You really are. But, Mr. Brill, I know you got meetings to go to, so I appreciate your time. Liza Jane, I love you.